Hello and welcome to today's tutorial. My name is Charity of CROCHET, and today we are making this very beautiful crochet ruffle slippers or flip-flops, and with a twist, yes, because we've added some beads on them, alright, to make them elegant, beautiful and fashionable. They are so easy to make and they're really beautiful, alright, so much beautiful, as you can see. All right, so this is a size 5 and that's exactly what my client requested, and the color is acrylic, and I accessorized with goldish brown pearls just to complement the look. All right, so let's get into it. For the materials, we're going to need this, my favorite South African brand and yarn. So it's a Charity double knit yarn from the brand Alliance. All right, it's from Alliance, and the recommended hook size is 4mm, but I'll be using a 4.5mm, all right, for it to be full and lush. And then I'm also definitely going to be needing our flip-flops, and I'm also going to be using a 3mm hook just to add the beads. All right, and definitely, yes, you're going to be needing the beads, whichever size, color and design you want. And you're also going to be needing a yarn needle for weaving in the ends, and also I'll be using this hand sewing needle because it's the only size that can pass through my bead. All right, it can pass through easily. All right, you see, so this is what I'll be using. All right, and then I'll definitely be needing a cutter or a scissor, whatever that you have. Even if you have a razor blade, whatever that you can use to cut, that's okay. All right, so I already did one flip-flop, all right, and it's looking really beautiful. This is how it looks. So for the ruffles to be this full and lush, it is because I used a 4.5mm hook, all right, and I used a 3mm hook to do the last round of slip stitches to insert my beads. All right, so this is how it looks. It looks really nice and very full, all right, as you can see. And this is the color that my client requested. The color is called Acrylic. All right, so this is what I'll be using. So I'll be using a what you call the yarn needle to secure this, which I'll do later on. All right, so let's get into it. Love pulling my yarn from the middle. All right, so pulling it from the middle, it helps a lot because the yarn would stay in one place. All right, and you won't struggle with it. All right, so this slipper is a size 5. I don't know if you can see because it's written in silver, right, but it is size 5. All right, so what you're going to do, you're going to create a slip knot, all right, and then you're going to insert your hook. Okay, so depending on the side you are going to begin or you want to begin, you can either begin the side or the side or the side or the side, whichever that works for you. It's actually just fine. All right, so from here you're going to grab your slipper the way you see you're comfortable with it. All right, sorry about that. Okay, but anyway, before you could actually you can just after making the slip knot, take your hook, pass it through under, and that's when you can grab. All right, whichever that works for you. And then you're going to go ahead and do single crochet stitches, sorry about that, and then you're going to go in again, you pull just like that, in, you grab, you pull, yarn over, pass through 2, right? In, you pull, yarn over, pull through the 2, all right? In, you pull, just like that, all right? So you're gonna have to count so that your slippers can match, or your flip-flops can match in ruffles, all right? So here I already did 1 2 3 4, all right? So my intention is to make 45, because for the first one, which is this one, I did 45 on the side and 45 on the other side, all right? So that is exactly what I'm going to do to keep maintaining the very same number, all right? So you can actually do it at the spot where it's easy to do, like for example here, all right? So 5 6 7 8, all right? So when the space gets full, as you can see, there's a gap here. That's when you can remove your hook, all right, and push this back, all right, so that it can come and console this area, all right? So that is exactly what you are going to do, all right? So you continue under, you grab and pull, single crochet, under, grab, pull, single crochet, under, grab, pull, single crochet, all right? So you're going to count and make sure that you do 45, if 45 is what it is enough to fill up the space, all right? So you're going to do that. So I'm going to do that all the way until I get to this point, and I'll come back to show you how it looks like, all right? Under, grab, pull, single crochet, under, grab, pull, single crochet, all right? So here I am, 44, and I'm going to do my very last, which is my 45th, all right? There you go. As you can see, it's fully packed, all right? It's fully packed. I made sure. So what you're going to do next, you're going to flip over, that is turning your work, and right under the other side, as you can see, you're going to grab, yarn over, single crochet, all right, under, grab, yarn over, single crochet, grab, single crochet. So you're going to repeat everything that you're doing this side, all right? Even if it looks like there's some spaces like this, it doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day you're going to keep on pushing back, all right? And it's going to close up, all right? So again, under, grab, single crochet, under, grab, single crochet, all right? That's what you're going to keep doing. And remember, if you did 40, you're going to do 40. If you did 45, you're going to do 45, all right? So that it can match up, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and do that also off camera and come back with the next step, all right? That's it. All right, so I'm done with all my 45 single crochets this side and also that side, all right? So since we already have this tail here, I left a small and shorter tail, but it's fine. So to weave it in, I'm going to insert my yarn needle or my darning needle here, all right? Because the tail is short, all right? And then I'm going to go ahead and insert it, all right? but you could leave a longer chain so that it will be easier for you to weave in. All right, so that's it. So now that this is sorted out, is concealed, it's enough. I'm going to cut the little excess. All right, so that's it. Okay, then I pull for it to settle down. So don't worry about this, because the moment that we start making ruffles, it will not be that visible. So since I'm done the side, and also this is the case, all right, so the moment we are done with the ruffles, that's when you're going to pull it down a little bit more, and the ruffle also will definitely cover up the space. So the next step that you're going to do, all right, is you're going to chain 1, 2, all right, 3 if you are a chain 3 person. All right, sorry about that. From there, in the very same spot or very same stitch, you're going to go ahead and insert 2 double crochets. All right, the chain 3 counts as a double crochet. All right, so that's what you're going to do. Into the next 3 double crochets, another double crochet, and another double crochet. Sorry, that means you're going to insert 3 double crochets on each and every stitch across up to this point. All right, so depending on how big you want your ruffles to be, you could start with a chain, or with 2 double crochets on each stitch, or 3 double crochets. For this one, if you want it to look like this, I started with 3 double crochets on the first stitches. All right, and then if you don't want them to be this big, you can start with 2. All right, and then we will continue after this round. All right, so this is what I'm going to do: 3 double crochets on each, and every stitch. Sorry about that. It's a little bit difficult for me to work on it, because I'm working it flat because I want to demonstrate to you. But the moment I bring it closer to me, like working on my lap, I go a lot faster than this. All right, so don't be worried about this. It looks like this only, it seems to be difficult only because I'm putting it flat, and I want you to understand as I demonstrate. Okay, so yeah, as you can see, the ruffles are already forming, because I'm doing 3 double crochets on each and every stitch, and with the 2 also the ruffles will form, but they'll form differently. But as you can see, with 3 they form quicker. All right, I know coming back it will be a long process, but trust me, it's worth it. So this is what I'm going to do. I'll do it off camera and then come back to show you how it looks after completing this first round. All right, so the slippers are very easy to make. The crochet ruffle flip-flops, they're very easy to make, and they are very quick projects which are very beautiful. All right, so because it's just 2 rounds, and the last row, because we'll be inserting or adding the beads, and then it's just 3 rounds per se. All right, so it's very easy and quick to make. One side down, and this is how our ruffles looks like so far. All right, so this is how it looks from 45 stitches to 135 stitches, because this is an increase row, and I'm doing 3 single crochets on 3 double crochets, on each and every stitch. So from 45 to 45 times 3, which is 135 stitches. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same on the other side, and another 135 stitches, then we'll take it from there. So as you can see, the ruffles are forming very nicely and very beautiful. Some people who are minimalists would just prefer it being like this, and you can actually play with the ruffles for them to give you the look that you want. All right, as you can see. All right, you can play with them anyhow you want. All right, as you arrange them. So for the minimalists, this would be enough, but for my client my very dramatic client, beautiful client, she decided to go for the drama, and the drama is what she's going to get. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do my 135 more stitches this side and come back to show you the next step. All right, and just so you may know, I noticed that working from this side, it's a lot difficult than working from the side. All right, so as you noticed, I started here and I ended here. All right, where did I start anyway? No, I started here and ended here. That is why my ruffles started to the side. So I think it's better to start on the outside the side and end here, so that your ruffles will start going the side, while the flip-flop is like this, other than when it's this, like this. So I noticed it's much easier working this way than working this way, because I remember this one I worked it differently than the one I'm doing right now. But it doesn't matter, because the ruffles, you can play with them anyhow and arrange them to look the very same way that this other one looks like. So just thought I should let you know that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do my second row, my second portion of the 3 double crochets on each and every stitch, and then I'll come back. All right, so you have come to the first round of ruffles, to the end of it. All right, so this is how it looks so far. All right, like I said, for some people this is enough, and it's beautiful still. All right, so what I'm going to do next, because I'm going to repeat exactly what I did on this one. All right, you're going to go ahead and chain 3. All right, 1 2 3, and then turn your flip-flop. All right, so you're going to go ahead and insert 3 double crochets, because that's the volume my clients want. All right, 3 double crochets in the same stitch. All right, so we are repeating the same pattern, but like I mentioned, if you don't want too much volume, you could start with 2 and then 1 on this one, or 2 2. All right, or you could rather still do 3 and 2. All right, so for me, I'm doing 3 3. All right, so that means first section is 135 stitches times 3, and 135 stitches times 3 on the other side. So you see, it's going to take a lot longer than it was before, because these are increased rows, so I'm increasing at every point. But fortunate enough, this is the second and the last row of ruffles. All right, so you're going to go ahead and do 3 double crochets, and oh my god, I forgot to charge my phone. All right, so I'm going to make sure that I do this really quick. All right, sorry, so that by the time the battery goes off, I'm done with this tutorial. All right, so there's my actual crocheting speech. Speed. What am I saying? All right, this is how fast I crochet with double crochets. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and repeat the very same pattern all the way. All right, all the way until I get to this point. All right, so whichever number you go for, you're going to do that number, and we shall meet for the next part. All right, 3. Okay, 1 2 3. Sorry, 1 2 3. Make sure you don't skip a stitch because you want to achieve the same results you have for the first slipper. All right, so if you are starting, make sure that you follow the same pattern the moment you do the next flip-flop. All right, so I'm going to do this off camera and charge a bit, okay, and come back to show you how it looks. So I'm left with 1 stitch. Sorry about that. Okay, and then I'm done. All right, you're going to chain 1 just to fasten off, and you're going to cut. You cut a tail that is enough for you to weave in. All right, because what we're doing now, it will be different. And why are we cutting the yarn? We are cutting the end because we still need this end, right, to insert it through so that we can install our beads. All right, so what you're going to do, but before then, this is how the ruffles looks like. It's very full. All right, and like I mentioned, you can design it to anyhow you want them to appear. All right, you see here they look a lot less, and here they look voluminous because of the arrangement. Okay, so what you're going to do next is you're going to grab your yarn, all right, and find a way however you can to insert it through the hand sewing needle, depending on the bead size you are using. All right, because for the one that I'm using, it's only the hand sewing needle that I can use, as I demonstrated from the beginning of the video. All right, for example, it can fit through. All right, and my yarn needle cannot fit through, which is why I'm using a normal hand sewing needle. So you're going to go ahead and insert it through into the yarn however way you can, because the yarn is a little bit big and the needle, it's really small, but anyway it does fit. All right, so the way I do mine is that I will twist to the end so that it becomes as thin as possible. Right, I'll twist it and then go ahead and insert it. Okay, and it's in. That's just how I do it. All right, so the next thing to do, you're going to grab the beads, all right, enough to fit into your palm or whichever bowl or whatever you'll be using. So you'll grab your needle like this and make sure you pass them through. All right, and you pass them through the yarn. All right, like this. Put as many as you can. All right, as many as you can, and make sure you put enough so that you don't have to repeat the process again. All right, that's what you're going to do. So I'm going to pause the video and do this off camera and come back to show you how far I've gone. All right, here we go. I've put as many as I can, and probably 50 or more than that. It doesn't matter as long as I know they're enough. All right, and I'm definitely sure I'm going to have the remaining ones. I didn't really count on the first one, but I believe this would be enough. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and push them backwards. All right, push them backwards the yarn so that they will not disturb you while you are working. All right, and you're going to space the most close one to your beginning. All right, and this is my beginning. So you're going to go ahead and take off the needle and bring some a little bit closer to the beginning. You can disperse them like this, okay, because as you work you're gonna have to keep on moving them backwards. All right, so this is how it is right now, and you're going to make a knot like that, and then you're going to grab your 3mm hook, okay, and you can decide to start wherever, okay, because it doesn't matter since we are doing single crochets, slip stitches, and with slip stitches you cannot carry the yarn along, okay. So I'm gonna have to weave this in at the end, and then you're going to connect. All right, I'm going to go ahead and make a slip stitch 1 and 2. All right, after this I'm going to push over this bead, all right, and make a slip stitch like this. All right, go ahead with my slip stitches 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I did 10 slip stitches, and this is the spacing I'm going for. You can decide to space however you wish. This is the spacing I'm going for, and after the very same spacing on the 10th, that's when I'm going to push over the bead and go ahead and do a slip stitch on the bead, not on the actual work. All right, like that. All right, go ahead and make 10 more slip stitches before I could do another bead. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I've come to the 10th. I'm going to push over the bead, all right, like that, and then I'm going to make a slip stitch on the bead without attaching here. So the slip stitch is just right there on the bead, all right, and then go ahead and make a slip stitch on the actual work. Okay, so this is how they look like. All right, they'll be facing the downward direction, but the moment you start to shape them into the way that you want them to appear, they'll definitely be visible enough and no longer on the flip side. All right, so don't worry about that. So this is exactly what you're going to do. Space however you want to space. For me, I space 10 stitches before I could place a bead, and that's good enough for me. All right, as you can see, it's good enough, and the beads, all of them are just visible enough, right? Because after I rearrange the ruffles, they get to be visible enough. All right, so that's exactly what you're going to do, and I'll come back to show you how it looks like, perhaps when I'm a bit halfway of this section. All right, halfway through into the flip-flop, installing the beads, and this is how it looks. It looks a little bit messed up, but it's okay. I'll arrange this as soon as I'm done so that it can look exactly as this one. All right, so don't worry if you see it a little bit messed up, all right, because the arrangement is not the same as when you stopped working on it on the ruffles, all right, before you could install, because right now you are using slip stitches, and slip stitches are tight stitches, and naturally they would reduce the stitch, especially because we used a 3mm hook from a 4mm hook. So you can do that, but if you don't want them to look like this, you could actually use single crochet, but for me I just prefer a slip stitch, all right, because I don't want it to be more bigger than it is right now. All right, so you're going to go ahead and do the rest of it up to the end, then we shall meet thereafter. So I've come to the end of installing the beads, and this is how it looks, all right, and I definitely still have some left, all right, so which is why I say you should put enough. They better be more than they become short, all right. So I changed my one there, and I'm going to cut just so I could weave it in, all right. So sorry about the background noise, it's a weekend, so yeah. So that's it. So the ruffles, you can definitely arrange them into the way that you want them to look, all right. All right, you see, you can definitely arrange them the way you want to arrange them, the way you'd like them to appear, of which I'll do after I have weaved in, all right. So to weave in, you're going to grab your yarn needle and insert your yarn, and just go in between through the double crochets, all right, and pull. I'll go back forth a bit on the slip stitches, all right, and pull. I'll go back again as long as the yarn can allow me, all right. For the last time, I'm going backwards again, all right, and pull. Then I can tie a knot, still pulled, all right, and then I'm going to grab my scissor and cut the excess. So when I pull again, it will stretch and conceal the knot, all right. So I'm going to do the same to the rest of the tails. For this, because there are two in one spot, I'm just going to go ahead and tie a double knot and cut the shortest one, all right, and then go ahead and conceal the longer tail the very same way I did the other side. Into the double crochets and pull back into the slip stitches, right, and pull a little bit back again, backwards into the slip stitches, right, pull, make a knot, and then you cut. You pull again so that the knot can go in between, all right. Then you can clean up and do away with all the flyaways, all right. So I'll continue arranging the way I want it to appear. It's just simple, really, because I want it to appear full but also nice, all right. Sorry about the background noise. My neighbors are perhaps having a party, a house party. So this is how it looks so far. Alright, and I'll squeeze it in a bit. Not that is important. You can and you may or you may not, it's still okay. This is how they both look. Congratulations, we are done, and this is how they look. They look really beautiful, like they are so nice, very neat and very pretty. All right, so thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, and remember we are also available on social media, that is TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. And your comments and your views and the needful that you would do there would be really important. Thank you very much for the support. Until next time, and wow, this is beautiful. Okay, they are more beautiful in person than they look on camera, because it was already getting late when I started finishing this, so they look a little bit dull, but the outcome is great. All right, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye. I'll see you.